Well, hey there guys, Conceptual Concept 6.9 out here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm in the mountains right now, and we'll see how much longer I'll be able to get out here before the snow starts covering it and it becomes a little more difficult. So I brought you guys here today to talk about why Bullpup. No one ever asks how Bullpup, who Bullpup, just why Bullpup. But we're not going to get into the Bullpup's insecurities here today. We are just here to talk about why Bullpup and why not Bullpup. I recently got the Bullpup itch, the curiosity if you will, and I decided to pick one up. For those who don't know, I picked up a Tavor SAR-21. So today we're going to talk about what I've learned through my experience and some of the misconceptions and old wives' tales that have surrounded Bullpups from the standard rifle community for a while. Are they valid? Are they not? We're gonna get into it. So at fighting length, this gun is shorter than a 10.3 AR-15 collapsed. So storage length for the AR-15. The benefit to that is in confined spaces, you definitely have more maneuverability with it. Less worry about your muzzle impacting walls or trying to navigate through narrow spaces. You also, in this short compact package, you have a 16-inch barrel. So you get full rifle length velocity and lethality out of a 10.3-inch gun length collapse. So shorter than 10.3-inch AR-15. And lastly, one of the biggest ones is the center of gravity. The weight of the rifle is towards your body, which makes it much easier to hold one-handed. Now, what do I think of that? I think that's freaking awesome. And we'll get into where I think that really shines in a minute here. So let's get into some of the complaints of the Bullpup and what I think about them overall. One of the biggest ones I've gotten in my comments is ergonomics. And I'm just gonna say, people who complain about most Bullpup ergonomics probably haven't handled one for any period of time. Yes, they are different. You are working out of the pocket of your shoulder back here. It's weird. It's weird compared to an AR or an AK where everything's done forward, right? But it's not difficult, it's not hard, and it's not unergonomic. So this I can reload pretty dang fast and pretty dang easily. .367. So next is accessories. So in modern times, you're hanging all sorts of shit off your rifle now. You need a laser for nods, you need a light, and they are absolutely relevant. But the Bullpup is going to provide you with less rail estate, if you will, to be able to do this. Now, I installed this Trijicon VCOG on here, partially to group this rifle and partially to just show how little real estate you have on this top rail once you mount a LPVO or MPVO. Now, a quick solution to that is doing a short LPVO, like the Primary Arms PLXC or the Knife Force NX8. You could also do an ACOG, an LCAN, just a red dot magnifier, and that's gonna free up a ton of your space on the top rail and afford you the option to mount all those accessories. But as you can see, the way I've got mine set up, I've got less than an inch of rail in front of my optic, and it's even pulled back a little bit where I kind of have to lean back when I'm prone to shoot out of this VCOG. So you're definitely struggling on that. And you'll see, even the Austrian Special Forces with their AUGs, they have to get creative how they're mounting lights, lasers, etc. on their Bullpups to make them functional, like modern, except all the modern accessories. Now, I do have this extended rail, this RPM tool. This is an awesome rail. I really dig it, but it's attached via 2 screws and tension. I'm not confident it's gonna hold lasers very well. That being said, attaching accessories on these just requires a lot more creativity. You can do it, it's just harder than a traditional rifle. So next complaint I get is the trigger. So the trigger on these, at least on this example, was really terrible at the get. And then I did the poor man's trigger job on this, which reduced the trigger pull weight significantly and reduced the travel and reset significantly. So this trigger now, still stock trigger, I just removed the extra trigger return spring that SARs come with, is better than my SIG 716i trigger was out of the box. I would put it right on par with a mil-spec AR trigger. So not bad. And then you can get Geisley triggers, etc. And multiple other Bullpups have replaceable triggers and better triggers. Like, I know the VHS, the Croatian gun, Springfield, screw you for using the most cringe name ever for that rifle, but apparently that has a really good trigger. Now, another complaint is accuracy. So accuracy is dependent on rifle. So from what I hear, the VHS is an incredibly accurate rifle. So now let's get into the particular groups of this Bullpup that I own, the SAR. And I want to state that different Bullpups have different levels of accuracy, but the SAR has been kind of touted as a fairly inaccurate Bullpup, and so let's get into the accuracy results. Let's start with green tip. I got a 3.363 MOA group, or inch group, so roughly MOA, just round off for that. That's pretty standard for green tip. It's not great, it's not terrible, it's just standard. I had a BCM that printed about the same with green tip, and just nature of the beast. Now let's get into the 77 grain OTMs, which I found a little more interesting because I was expecting a big jump in accuracy, and there was. I was very confident on all my shots, and my accuracy was a 2.436 inch group, so a little under a 2.5 MOA group with 77 grain match OTM ammo. So not great accuracy out of that rifle. Not terrible, but my ZPAP 85 prints about the same, my 10 inch 5.56 AK. All right, so last complaint I've heard is the accessory market kind of sucks, and that I can get behind. The accessory market definitely does struggle on these, on just about every variant. Now the AUG might be an exception, but overall, as a general rule of thumb, just like any proprietary rifle, including the Bren 2, including the Scar, including all the other rifles out there, you will have a smaller aftermarket with this than you will with an AK or an AR. So is the juice worth the squeeze? Is this short rifle, compact rifle with a full-length barrel, full velocity, full rifle ballistics out of a 5.56 with a very good center of gravity that allows you to shoot it one-handed, is it worth the squeeze? To me, no and yes. So if I do choose to keep this, this will be my new home defense gun. I have kids. I really like the idea of being able to hold my rifle one-handed and handle my children. You know, keep them safe, direct them, all that stuff if there is a threat in the house. So I really, really like that feature about it. However, I don't think I'm ever going to get used to it to the point that I will choose it over my standard rifles for everything. And that's just what it is. That's just for me. If you love Bullpups, rock on. If you hate Bullpups, rock on. This is just what I found out of my shooting with this rifle. So anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget, go outside, touch grass, and eat ass. All right, guys?